Hello everyone, welcome back to Jikook Magic. One live broadcast, one night, one simple sentence, I want to live freely. And suddenly, it felt like the world was on fire. That night, Jungkook of BTS wasn't on a concert stage. He wasn't reading from a script or selling a polished image. He was simply a grown man speaking honestly about exhaustion, hatred, and real threats to his life. Yet instead of hearing his fear, many people judged his tone. Since when did death threats become smaller than a curse word? Since when did honesty turn into rebellion? In this video, we're not discussing gossip. We're talking about something more serious, the boundary between idol and human, and why it keeps being crossed. That early morning live wasn't just an idol drunk and swearing. Around 3:40 a.m. on the 26th, he went live to greet fans. It wasn't official, not promotional, no perfect lighting, no agency script. He had been drinking with friends and his older brother. The mood was relaxed, spontaneous, almost like a private video call, except millions were watching. And that's where everything exploded. Korean media reacted fast. Sensational headlines appeared. Words like drunk on air, crossing the line, disrespectful, and criticizing the agency were repeated. Clips were magnified. The phrase, "Hey, bitch," was stripped from context. The moment he flipped his middle finger at a friend became framed as public rudeness. Then came the questions. Was he allowed to be drunk? Was he allowed to swear? Was he allowed to show frustration? Was he allowed to say he would do what he wants without thinking about the agency? But those questions oversimplify something deeper. Yes, he looked drunk. Yes, he spoke more freely than usual. He admitted that when he drinks, he's like that. Normally, there's a filter, clear boundaries on what he can and cannot say. That night, the filter was thinner. He said something deeply human. He didn't know what to focus on. He just wanted to feel comfortable, to play music and sing. That wasn't rebellion. It sounded like someone tired of being perfect every second. At another point, he mentioned smoking. He said he's 30 and doesn't understand why he can't talk about it. He admitted he used to smoke often but is trying to quit. That wasn't promotion. It was honesty. But in an industry where image is guarded carefully, honesty can feel like violation. He even said there might be trouble at work because of the topic. That he hadn't discussed it with the agency. That he spoke out of frustration. Many interpreted, "I don't know anything about the agency. I'll do what I want," as defiance. To some, it sounded unprofessional. To others, it sounded like a grown man who has lived too long under tight control. But the heaviest part wasn't the swearing. It was when he spoke about hatred, about people who watch him while hating him, about those who want to see him fall, even those who want to take his life. That wasn't metaphor. It was an admission of death threats. Since when can someone say, "There are people who want to kill me"? And the first response is to criticize his tone. Threats are not fandom drama. They are violence, even when anonymous behind a screen. Ironically, some of the harshest criticism came from his own country. There was no language barrier. They understood him. Yet the focus shifted to his expressions and gestures. When the core message was simple, he wants to live freely. Freedom does not mean recklessness. Freedom does not mean irresponsibility. Freedom means breathing without fear. It means not filtering every sentence in anxiety it will be twisted into a weapon. It means having friends, laughing, even making small mistakes without facing violence. This is not the first time a BTS member has faced this. Jimin has also received serious threats publicly in the past. Disturbing posts circulated. Promises of violence that would chill anyone. The fact that he didn't speak openly about it doesn't mean he wasn't affected. Silence does not mean immunity. Behind some threats lies a darker side of fandom dynamics. Certain shippers become obsessed with their narratives, including those who support the pairing of V and Jungkook. When reality doesn't match fantasy, some choose to attack. When ordinary interactions between Jungkook and Jimin don't align with their story, anger is directed at real human beings who never agreed to live by someone else's imagination. All of this happens because two people appear close, because they sit side by side, laugh together, say each other's names softly. Are we really normalizing death threats just because two friends are close? Hatred is disguised as opinion. Threats are wrapped as criticism. The most dangerous part is when it becomes normalized, when people say, "That's just how it is," as if repetition makes it acceptable. No, it's not normal. Many speculate, what if one day Jungkook and Jimin confirm their relationship, whatever form it takes? If even now, without confirmation, the wave of hatred is this large, what would happen if they actually said yes? We can't ignore the social context. South Korea has progressed, but LGBTQ+ issues remain sensitive for parts of society. It wouldn't be just entertainment news. It would become national, international, endless analysis, and the hatred could increase. Some would feel betrayed. Sponsors could be pressured. Contracts questioned. Fandom love is often conditional, supporting as long as the idol remains a safe fantasy. But when an idol chooses freedom and honesty, some of that love turns into attack. That's why I Want to Live Freely feels like a quiet but heavy cry. Behind the grand stages and bright spotlights are real humans, with families who worry, with long nights when phone screens glow brighter than their smiles. As a fandom, the question is simple. Will we be part of the pressure, or part of the safe space? What they need is not speculation or fantasy. They need respect, genuine support, protection when they say they don't feel safe. Popularity is not a shield. Talent is not a guarantee of safety. Before the title Golden Magne, before world records, before stadiums filled with light, he is human. If we truly love them, Jungkook, Jimin, and all of BTS, then that love must be bigger than fandom ego, bigger than ship wars, bigger than the narratives we create. True love protects. It does not demand. It does not threaten. It does not punish honesty. The freedom he asked for isn't radical. It's basic. The right to live without threats. The right to speak without disproportionate punishment. The right to love without being hunted. Maybe what we can do is stop normalizing hatred. Stop treating threats as the price of fame. Stand against violence, even when it comes from within our own community. Because in the end, before all the titles and records, they are simply humans who want to live peacefully. And that should never be too much to ask. That's all for today's Jikook Magic. If you believe humanity matters more than sensation, don't forget to support this video. Let's become a fandom that protects, not harms. Because wanting to live freely is not a controversy. It's a basic right.